My name is Sophie Power. I'm a mum of 2, soon to be 3, and I'm an ultra runner. In the running community, I'm most known for a photograph of me that went viral racing the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc in 2018. I was breastfeeding my 3-month-old son Cormac at the same time as pumping at the 50-mile aid station in Courmayeur. Now I'm having a daughter myself. This is so much more personal. I want to be active to do what I love. I want to be a role model for her. The initial target is to complete my first ultra kind of about 10, 11 weeks after giving birth. Having that in the diary, that's really good to just focus me and making sure that I'm doing all the recovery exercises that I need to be doing to make sure I have that kind of full recovery and I gain my fitness as soon as possible. My first son, I had a really difficult labour, and after that I lost control of my pelvic floor. I didn't understand what a pelvic floor was. I hadn't had that testing and I couldn't have any impact for 3 months. I found that so difficult, and not understanding what was happening to me had a real impact on my mental health. This whole pregnancy has been based on what are all the things that I can do to stay active during pregnancy, because it's what I want to do. I'm still running, I'm loving my running. And then how can I then prepare for the other side? The community is so important. And the run community, especially the ultra community, is like a big family. I'm just looking forward to getting out on the races with them again. But until then, they're all giving me tips and tricks on how they've got back from different runs, how they've recovered from injuries. I know that they've got my back. It's so important to plan for after the baby, before the baby arrives. So without support around me, without a network of people that can help, running won't happen at the same rate I want it to. Hopefully I'll be active straight after, but the important thing is to have a 6-week check with my female health physio and to work out kind of where I am and what I can then start doing running-wise.
It's all over, isn't it? It's all over.
Yeah, just cause trouble. Sasha is half an hour old.
Pardon?
Here you go, Sophie.
Yeah, look what we got.
Oh my God! Congratulations!
Thank you. So she's 20 hours old?
Sophie! Oh, that's amazing! What's her name?
Sasha.
Sasha?
Sasha.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God, I can't believe you just had a baby. Have you eaten lots? Have you done lots? Have you looking after yourself?
So yes, this is a good thing about having a husband who is used to crewing in ultra marathons, is he's a really good crew in labour.
Yes.
Yeah, my diet this morning was 5 a.m. chocolate cake, then it was chocolate on toast, and then it was chocolate muffin. So I'm not winning on nutrition this morning.
Right, here goes. Well, first of all, you need to 100% respect the fact you should be sleeping and healing and not really on this phone call right now. Pelvic floor exercises, you should be starting those right now. Because what we've got to be thinking about at the moment is your abdominal wall has been really stretched during your pregnancy. And what we're aiming for is to obviously bring that strength back and return some shape to your tummy, but that's not going to happen overnight. You don't want to overdo it in this next 2 weeks, okay? I mean, you could do a little bit of treadmill walking on an incline if you want to, if you've got the energy. But for example, you wouldn't start running within the next 2 weeks because the chances are you are going to leak urine or you are going to feel heaviness in the vaginal area or pain. And I think even you know that would be mad.
Awesome, right, do I have to go to the hospital? Yeah. We have to go to the hospital. Awesome.
Listen, Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm delighted for you.
And thank you so much for all your help.
Oh, you're welcome. Yay, well done.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Yes.
I'll be in touch.
Thanks, Emma.
Say goodbye, guys.
Thanks.
See you. Bye.
No. Right. Should we do some talking, Sasha? We'll do some talking. Okay. You know that? Okay. So we are now 1 week in. Sasha is 1 week old. In fact, today was supposed to be her due date. So she rather surprised me because I was expecting her to be late. Most of my time at the moment I spend on this couch, feeding her. She's breastfeeding on demand. And in a way, it feels that in just a week, I've gone so far backwards. She just got fed. I've gone so far backwards. Like this time last week, I was running. I was on a treadmill and I could do what I wanted to do, essentially. And there's no doubt about it. My body feels like it's gone through a massive trauma. And I won't be running for quite a long time. I know it's only a week and I know that things will get better. And I'm enjoying all the little snuggles because I know that she's not going to stay this small for long. But it's definitely at home that this is going to be a real recovery from where I was. My body is so much weaker in just a week from the trauma of the delivery that I'm going to try and do everything I can to get strong quickly and safely. The mum guilt is so difficult. It's like when you give birth or you get pregnant, someone injects this guilt into you. You don't even feel you have the right to ask for permission to do something. You just don't think you're worthy and you should be focused on your baby. But actually, that doesn't lead to the right outcomes. It's better for the whole family when the mum has the time to herself and puts her own health at the same level as her family's health. I am 11 days in and finally getting on my first workout. It's been a tough time since. I've definitely felt kind of stuck to the couch feeding, and it really took a kick from my husband to say, do you know what, just get on the treadmill, put her down for a nap, press play, do whatever you want, watch some TV, take some time for yourself. And I feel so much better. It's so different how my body feels. In terms of getting back and realizing how important it is to keep me motivated, to keep kind of my mental health up, I'm really glad he kicked me up here. I've probably got 10 minutes to have a quick shower before she wakes up. But I know that I'm going to be in a much better mood for the rest of the day now. And I can now start planning for the rest of the training program. So I'll get onto my coach, say, okay, I can hike an incline. Maybe, as Emma said, I could try the bike at the weekend and see where I go from here. But I'm just really happy to be exercising again. The main thing is I'm absolutely knackered. So she has not been sleeping. I think she slept about 2 hours, one stretch last night, and then an hour, and then she just wouldn't settle. So in terms of doing any training today, it's not going to happen. It's really hard. I'm hiking with the kids most days. The boys are off school. We're in another lockdown, which makes it kind of triply difficult to have 3 of them instead of just Sasha. But I see these trail runners and I see them run down the hill. I see the boys run down the hill and I've got Sasha in the carrier or I'm pushing the buggy and I just want to chase after them. It doesn't last, but it does go on quite a long time. So making sure that kind of I'm coming out the other side as physically strong as possible and as mentally strong as possible.
So you're 6 weeks through, you're tired. Are you in any pain anywhere?
No. So what the difference is from last time is, apart from kind of my pelvic floor and just being absolutely knackered, it doesn't feel that I've got anything hanging over from pregnancy.
We've just got to make sure that fundamentally your pelvic floor has adequate strength. We need to think about globally how strong you are as well. So can you take the load and impact that running requires, and have you got the adequate strength internally and externally to cope with the demands of running? Try now planking in that position. So same thing, squeeze glutes, engage pelvic floor and lower abs. So the pelvic floor examination or the internal examination is going to give me an idea of where we start your pelvic floor program, okay? It'll also give me a grading as to roughly how strong your pelvic floor is, and it will also tell me if you have any signs of a pelvic organ prolapse. Pelvic organ prolapse is basically where the front or the back wall or the uterus has dropped down slightly into the vagina. And as a runner, that's a really big deal because we want to make sure if you have a prolapse, fine, but we have to then support and protect that with the use of the pessary that I was discussing with you earlier, that little internal support that just basically supports the vaginal walls. So let's see strength-wise where you're at. So all I want you to do is at the moment squeeze your pelvic floor and let's see how long you can hold it for. No pressure. So when you're ready, go for it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, relax. So good news, your pelvic floor is working. So I'm stopping you at 7 because that's about the capacity your pelvic floor's got at the moment, which 6 weeks postnatal is awesome. Really, really good. But remember, we're wanting to build out to about 10 to 12 second hold in standing, okay? You have got slight prolapse, but you are only 6 weeks postnatal, okay? So we've got a very small gap, a small prolapse, which we're going to monitor, but basically strengthen up. And we have got a tight thoracic spine, and we have got weak, general global weakness, particularly around your glutes and your hamstring. If we address all of those things, then and build up your strength, that's when we need to then think about how you get back to running, okay? Mums ideally benefit from being strong. When you're a mum, you are straight away lifting a heavy object, otherwise known as your baby, plus a car seat, plus a buggy. It's just like any other injury, ultimately. You have to rehabilitate sensibly for what you do functionally throughout the day, and mums just do so much. The amount of squatting and bending and picking up that mums do, it stands to reason that if we rehabilitate you, you're going to be in a much better place than if we just ignore those weaknesses. Sophie's had to learn that not all symptoms are painful and that pain doesn't necessarily correspond with what her body can cope with. That's what's so difficult as an ultra runner because they have an incredible pain threshold. They do have a mind over matter mentality. And so, yes, it's hard, but I think for Sophie, what she does have is the knowledge that if she doesn't listen to her body and listen to what we've warned her about, worst case scenario, she might not be able to run as she wants to in 10 years' time.
My diagnosis from Emma has really made me rethink what my targets are and what my goals should be. I've accepted that I won't be on the start line of a 50k race. That's probably not the right answer now. Now I realise that the more important goal is to get my body strong enough so when I say I really want to take on a race, I'm on that start line in the best shape possible. Sasha is 6 weeks old. Going through that first 6 weeks has been a roller coaster. It's strange, kind of, I ran the day that my waters broke, yet 6 weeks later, I'm still several weeks off being able to run and being able to do what I'm used to. A combination of not sleeping at night and then trying to look after 2 kids the next day, at the same time trying to deal with a body that's in limbo because you're no longer pregnant, but you're not back to where you are, and you want to move your body, but you're too exhausted and it's too weak. It's been really, really difficult. There's been times where I've been sat in the evening on this couch crying because I just don't feel I'm getting anything done. She's just feeding around the clock, everything's sore. But the good thing about having 2 kids is that I know that this doesn't last and that it will get better. It's really hard to put yourself first. But I know that unless I do, no one else gets what they need. I think the really hard time is as mum saying, I need this hour to myself. And actually that's where kind of my husband comes in. And he was the one that got me into my first workout. And he's like, just go. You don't have to do a workout. You just need an hour to yourself, moving on your own. And I'll deal with the kids. And that was really important.
From my perspective, both men and women can do pretty much everything, on an equal footing. As the races and running is so important to Sophie, I've tried to take on more of the parenting role with Donncha and Cormac to give Sophie that bit of time to get her training in. It's really important for Sophie to be fit and to get the time to train. She needs to believe that, I'm happy to take on, my share of the responsibility. I think that's really important to actually help your partner know that, you are there to take the responsibility so they can have the time they need to start rebuilding themselves.
Yeah, I knew it was dangerous to introduce you, but the most important thing is that you guys connect, and only by bringing it together we're actually going to get to the right place.
So we've got you back moving muscularly quite well. You were feeling quite comfortable doing like an hour of aerobic hiking.
What I don't want you doing is running, however, through leakage, even with the pessary in place. So I think we have to find that sweet spot just before you either leak or feel any pain. That has to be an absolute. But we're not going to adapt your pelvic floor if we don't load your pelvic floor with some impact. But it'd be really good if we didn't put too much more than half an hour of impact within that session.
Yeah. I'm not interested in how many minutes you run in 12 weeks. I'd be happier for you hardly to do any. Where all women go wrong, isn't it? Is that they're like, I feel fine, here I go. And when you're getting to that like 15-hour mark of an ultra and everything else has fallen apart, if your core and your pelvic floor is as strong as you can make them, then everything else will be kept in place. And I think that's where before, when we rushed for UTMB and stuff, we knew we didn't do that work. Whereas this time we've got to get that strong foundation. You potentially could really damage yourself.
Yeah.
Your nutrition and what could be the rest of your life.
This is why Eddie's my coach, because it's the best thing for me. So I'm going to do what I'm told.
See you soon. Bye, Sophie. Bye.
I've been doing some of the exercises that Emma set. She set a strength program. She set a pelvic floor program. I hate doing it. It's not great because all I'm thinking about is I'd far rather be out for a run. But unless I do this, I'm not going to be out for those runs. I thought prolapse, it was kind of thing that you had when you were 60, 70, 80, not something you had after you had a baby. And after 3 babies, it's really common. Why don't we talk about it more? Because it should be in all our heads as we go to the 6-week check with the GP. It's like, can you check what's happened? Every time over the last few years I've been able to train, it's been rushing back after pregnancy to have kind of a year of racing before I try and get pregnant again. And now it's, well, actually, I've got an amazing family. I've got 3 incredible kids. Now I can look to the future and I want to be running when I'm 70. And what's 6 months more? What's 12 months more? So it's finding out what I need from running. And I think that is a bit of escapism, a bit of adventure. Does that need to be racing? Does that need to be fast? No, it doesn't. There's nothing like running on trail on a beautiful day with the views, running outside. It's such a big part of my life and it feels that that's not mine at the moment. I know it's so close, but if I go back too soon, I'm risking it all. What really matters? What kind of mum do I want to be? What kind of athlete do I want to be? I am the kind of person that pushes against limitations. It's what ultra running is about. but being told I can't do something and then realizing that that isn't the cue to then go and do it and prove people wrong has been quite difficult. It's a long time since I took a proper running stride. My bump has changed how I run. So I need to get my form back, partly to get more efficient at running for the longer races, but also not to risk injury. Pregnancy and motherhood have so many side effects. At the moment, my posture is horrendous from breastfeeding, and that also affects my running.
Runners move over the ground and create energy as they move. Every time you hit the track, it gives you the ability to create some elastic energy which throws you forward. Ironically, in our quest to reduce impact, we move in a way where we don't dissipate it properly. You have those 250,000 nerve endings on the bottom of your foot. If you get that height in the body, you're able to create that air, and that allows that foot to come back underneath you. When you run around that track, what we're trying to do is minimise your ground contact time, maximise the amount of time you're in the air going forward. Basic physics would tell us if you use the ground as a lever, you're going to get more air, aren't you? Yep. You're trying to get air by pulling yourself into the air. It can't happen. Not for long. You get that foot landing on that tripod landing, it compresses, but it loads that elastic, and then that springs you. So it's not just about getting tall so that you have recoil, it's also about creating free elastic energy as you go.
From here on, it's all building up the impact. So 20 seconds up the hill, then it'll be longer up the hill. Then we'll start going on to flatter surfaces. Then it's a shift of the trail, the softer trail, to concrete. And eventually, I guess, it's concrete downhill. My goal, my initial kind of date and diary was to be running 50 kilometers this weekend. UTMB, kind of Cormac was only 3 months old, and we're almost at that point. I still have these big goals, these big races. Postpartum is for life, recovery is for life, and my goal is to be a better runner than I've ever been before. I want to be running Lakeland 100 when she's 8 months old, and I know now what I need to do to get there. So I can't race this weekend, but I'm still having a lot of fun running out with my friends, getting a lot from running that I've missed while being pregnant and on my recovery. I run with lots of other mums, and we're all juggling, we're all struggling in our own way, and hitting the trails together helps us work through it all. And running together means we have to prioritise this time for ourselves because we don't want to let our friends down. My body's done an amazing thing in giving birth to my daughter and carrying my daughter. And what I need to do now is look after my body. I've had so many people helping me to get where I am now, and I'm so lucky to have this huge community around me. My husband, my kids, family, my local kind of running community, all the team of specialists, kind of from Emma and Eddie, Shane, and people kind of on social media that I've met there, and people I've never met before, and the wider ultra running community. It's really been a team effort to not only kind of guide me, but motivate me and inspire me. I feel the whole community's come together behind me, and I really feel that I'm gonna get there, and a lot of it's gonna be down to them. I'm not an elite athlete, but that doesn't make my goals any less important. You know, when you're juggling so many things, you never get to be 100% anything. And as someone who's always wanted to achieve as much as I can, it's been hard coming to terms with that, but that's okay. Motherhood is not the finish line of our journey as runners. It's just another checkpoint. And with the right support around us, there's really no limits to what we can achieve. you.